What's going on, Raiders? Duelum here, and today we're going to be going over the Predator Heroes path and exactly how much it's going to cost to get the 4 red and maybe even the 5 red if you do want it, as well as the other side where you're going to get some goodies. So we're also going to talk about the progressive chance as well and who are going to be the best picks if you are going to be opening shards to potentially get a pretty great legendary or even some pretty good epics or even Mikage a little bit faster. So if you're ready, let's get into it. But first, make sure you're clicking that download link or scanning the QR code to get started off in Raid Shadow Legends the best way possible. You're going to be getting Tholen Foulbeard, day number 1, one of the best legendaries they have ever given away for free. At level 10, you're going to be getting Tagore, who's an amazing epic support character, gives increased speed to all allies, as well as has an entire team revive. You're also going to be getting Ruella at level 20, who is an amazing epic nuker doing some incredible damage early on for you. And last but certainly not least, you're going to be getting Lady Annabelle, who does some incredible things even in the late game, soloing content and being able to carry your team and keep them alive. But that's not all. Make sure you are starting Raid Shadow Legends sooner rather than later to get Xenomorph. That's right, you're going to get Alien from the Alien vs. Predator series, absolutely free just for starting Raid Shadow Legends and playing for 7 days. And that's not all. Make sure you're putting in promo code Monkey King to get Sun Wukong, who is one of the best legendaries they have ever offered for free. And you will get started off in Raid Shadow Legends the best way possible. So make sure you're downloading using my link or scanning my QR code. All right, so let's go over into the events here. So we do have the Predator's Path ready to go. It's only lasting 3 days. We have the same point structure as usual, where it's going to be getting artifacts and accessories, and then the summon champions from shards. Obviously, we have the points scaling up as we go up. Nobody's going to have any primal shards because we just opened all of them for the 2x event. Sacred shards are 4,500, void shards are 750, and ancient shards are 300. A lot of these were used, though, for that champion chase event to get the Cross 5 red. So I know I'm out of shards and I am not going for this. I'm still on the fence if I'm even going to get Predator or not, because obviously you do have to pay for him. So I am on the fence about getting him at all, since it is, what, 40 bucks? Yeah, 40 bucks. So I'm on the fence about getting him, but I probably end up knowing me. He looks fun. He looks pretty cool. All right, so let's get into the math of this. So the math is pretty darn simple. Let me pull up my notes app here because I won't remember anything. So we are going to go down the far left path first. It doesn't really matter which path you choose. So you can either choose the left side here. You have to go down the left side if you want the 4 red and the 5 red, these two left paths here, right? So if you want just the 4 red, whether you choose this path or this path, it's the exact same price. It does not matter. Obviously, the Basalt is 1,500, the Mortal Soul is 1,000, but then the 500 flip-flops here. So it's a net even there, and then it's 4,000, 4,000, 9,000, 9,000, 1, and then obviously it's the exact same. So if we're coming down this left path here and we are choosing the far left just to make it easier, we do pick up this 1 key. Then we also end up going here for the book. The problem is you have to go down this second path here, which is pretty darn rough. So I actually have to subtract 35,000 from this. So we have to go down this second path as well to get this second key. So you're going to be getting that legendary skill tome here, and then you need the second key to even unlock the 4. So getting the 4 is going to be 61,750 points. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see how people are going to navigate that and what people want to kind of get. So that is going to be like 14 sacred shards, I think. What is it? Divided by 4,500. 13.7 sacred shards. I was correct. And then we are going to be getting that 5 red at 35,000 points, which means you are going to be needing another 8 sacred shards to get there. So it's a total of 21 sacred shards to get the 5 red for Predator. Now, is it worth it to get the 5 red for Predator? I genuinely don't think so. Like, he doesn't need accuracy, right? Like, let's go into the pass here. This will be the easiest way to get to him. There we go. So Lizardman, he doesn't really need accuracy, right? Like, he's evading on the A1. On the A2, he's just doing damage. He's also ignoring defense if you are under Veil or Perfect Veil. And then he's got the combo stick throw where he's going to be placing Hunter's Gauge, which I guess he kind of needs accuracy for that, right? But the block revive, you don't need accuracy. But the Hunter's Gaze, guess what? It can't be resisted if this champion is under Veil or Perfect Veil. So it doesn't really matter. You don't need accuracy. And the 5 red is going to be where you get accuracy from, right? So let's go over here. Let's go to Blessings. And you can see the 5 red is where you get the accuracy. So he really doesn't need the accuracy. You're also not getting the HP there. The HP is going to be the important thing to get because he is an HP-based nuker. So I really don't think it's worth going for the 5 red. I think it's going to be worth just going for the 4 and stopping there. I don't know why my game... There we go. I think it's just going to be worth it going for that 4 red and stopping there so you get that HP boost and then just not bothering with the 5 red. Just don't bother. The right side here is all the same price as the left side. It's the exact same thing. So if you did want the 61,750 plus 35,000, it's another 96,750. So that's another like 22 shards. You're going to be getting a mythical skill tome. You're also getting an eternal soul stone as well. Rank 4 basalt, pretty good. But yeah, so it's pretty expensive. Nothing like the Leo event, but I know people are going to want to finish this for funsies because why not? So it is okay, but I would say stop at the 4 red, and then any extra points you get, just focus on that right path. Maybe get some chickens, maybe get some glyphs. We also have a haste glyph here, a 6-star haste glyph here on the left side, which would be pretty nice to get. So that is going to be the hero's path. Again, I don't know. I'm not pushing for this at all. I have no shards to push for this. Also, I want to save for a potential Christmas fusion and whatever potential goodies they have for December. So I'm not going to be going for this because, again, I am out of shards. I pulled absolutely everything for the Cross event. I'm starting to build up a little bit of a stockpile. I've got 3 sacred shards already, so starting to work on that. But the progressive chance is not terrible, right? So we do have the progressive chance is the same for ancients as well as sacreds, and then voids have their own. So you can get Predator himself from this, right? And I do think Predator is going to be useful in Lizardmen Faction Wars. If you're still struggling in Faction Wars, I think he's going to still be good for that, right? He does a lot of damage. He has the revive block as well. Also, you're getting the a 20% chance of evade enemy skills and accompanying effects, stacks up to 60% whenever he kills a champion, which is great. He's got the aura as well as 35% health in all battles, which is above average for health aura, which is nice. He's not bad at all. We've got Arashi Riptide here. He's decent as well. Actually, he's pretty good. He's got a 2-time hitter on the A1. He does a lot of stuff with Veil and Perfect Veil. He's got a single hitter on the A2, 5-turn cooldown, book down to a 4-turn cooldown, ignoring target's defense as well as shield, strength, and buffs. Will also ignore stone skin buffs in this. If this champion is under a Veil or Perfect Veil, this champion kills an enemy, increases the duration of all buffs on this champion by 1. That's also kind of nice. And then the A3, increased crit damage, Perfect Veil as well on this champion. It's also an AoE. This attack deals single target damage to each individual rather than AoE. Will ignore 15% of the target. The first enemy's defense after hitting the first enemy will hit every other enemy. Following the initial hit, each subsequent hit ignores 5% more of the target's defense. So it's kind of like Odin's A3, which is pretty nice. And the passive here at the start of each round places a Perfect Veil on this champion for 1 turn. He is pretty good in Faction Wars. He's also got increased ally speed in Arena by 28%, which is very, very solid as well. We've got Granny T, which is the fusion. If you're really trying to focus on Arena and you need something that counters Stone Skin, maybe you don't have Fabian. Granite, not bad, right? He does do a lot of damage to Stone Skin. He ignores it with his A3, right? He does some really big damage with his A2, also gets the increased accuracy. He's pretty good in Hydra as well because he puts decreased defense and block buffs on an AoE, kind of like an Ugo. So he is pretty good in Hydra as well, especially on a 3-turn cooldown, very solid, just like Ugo. So he's not bad at all. We also have Knave of Hearts. Knave is very good. We got a single target provoke, but it's also a heal as well, which is nice. HP based character. You got the aura at 30%. You've got stealing random buffs on an AoE, which is really, really nice. Continuous heal. Also places unkillable and a taunt buff on this champion for 2 turns. Also very nice on a 3-turn cooldown. Very, very, very good. The A3 stout defense, 6-turn cooldown, booked down to a 4-turn cooldown. Gets 100% heal reduction, which is great against Amius. On that enemy for 2 turns, this debuff cannot be removed, transferred to have its duration decreased by enemies, which is amazing. Then equalizes the HP level of all allies. Also places an increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. Very solid, and at the start of this champion's turn, fully restores this champion's destroyed max HP. Also very good in things like Sand Devil, Fire Knight, as well as like a support character for Fire Knight. One attack destroys this attacker's max HP by 20% of the damage received, stacks up to 50%. Very, very, very good character. I think she's going to be the one you want to go for. And then Osgore Crimson Horn is okay. He's nothing too crazy. He's got some heal on the A1. He's got a pair with Jetney. I have Jetney, but Jetney is very underwhelming. And then we got block damage on all allies on a 6-turn cooldown, booked down to a 4-turn cooldown. Nothing too crazy. Unless you're pairing with Jetney. Then we have Illusinia. So if you're still going for Mikage, Illusinia is used for that. Delasia, I think, is also used for Mikage. And then we have Andalia used for Mikage. So if you need Mikage, absolutely great. You could get some epics here. You have a good chance of getting those. I usually get the progressive chance when I open up those, so that's awesome. I would say go for Knave of Hearts is the best just general overall use character. If you need some specialized stuff, Granny T is always great. If you need some, you know, a special area, whatever it is, get Granny T. If you need help in arena, stone skin, stuff like that, that is perfectly fine. Then for the Void Shards, we've got a lot less choices here. We're going to start with the epics this time. We've got 2 very good choices here. Maneater is very, very good character, especially used in the double Maneater composition where you are essentially unkillable in Clan Boss until he gets to the point where he ignores unkillable. But you can essentially just, you could just back and forth the unkillables over and over again with Maneater. He also got a decreased attack on the A1. It's only a 50% chance it does not get booked up. The A2 Siphon fully depletes the target's turn meter on a 3-turn cooldown, which is nice. And then also fills the champion's turn meter equal to the amount of the target lost. So he's stealing it, which is great. And then the A3, 7-turn cooldown, booked down to a 5-turn cooldown. This champion receives damage, then places an unkillable buff and block debuffs buff on all allies for 2 turns. The damage received is equal to 5% of the max HP for each alive ally. This is really, really great. Again, that unkillable team for Clan Boss Demon Lord. But I prefer Yuzin. I think Yuzin is amazing. Yuzin's got a very, very good heal on the A1. Also transferring a random debuff from this target to the champion. Random debuff from this champion to the target, which is great. You've got an AoE on a 3-turn cooldown. Also has a 75% chance booked up to 100% chance of removing 2 random buffs from all enemies, as well as healing for 10% of their max HP for each buff removed by this skill. That's really, really good. And then we also have a 1 debuff cleanse, as well as heal all allies by 20% of this champion's max HP, and places a block debuff buff on all allies for 2 turns. He's very good. He also does some surprising damage as well. He's got an HP-based damage dealer, and all of his heals are based off of HP. So very, very solid. He is very, very good. I've used him a good amount in Cursed City and stuff like that, so I would recommend getting Yuzin. For the legendaries, we have White King Narses, a very good character. Now, if you have White Queen Ancora, I would absolutely recommend him because the pair between them is very, very good. A lot of can't be resisted when you have paired with White Queen Ancora, which is really, really nice. Extra turn as well. He's a very, very good HP-based damage dealer. Now we have Bellator Mage Slayer. So if you did not go for Kraus for whatever reason, or you do have Kraus and you need another legendary for Ogren Tribe's Faction Wars, Bellator is going to be one of the only other legendary in Ogren Tribes that's kind of good. That's actually worth it. So the A1 Fume Axe attacks one enemy, has a 75% chance, booked up to 100% chance of decreasing the cooldown of a random skill of the ally with the highest turn meter, except this champion by 1 turn. That's nice. Slayer's Roar, 4-turn cooldown, booked down to a 3-turn cooldown. Attacks all enemies, places a 50% increase attack buff and a 60% increase defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. Also heals all allies by 20% of this character's max HP, and fills all turn meters, all allies turn meters by 20%. Very, very solid there. Also, 20% of his max HP is nuts. That's a very, very good heal. We also have a Revive All with 50% HP, 50% turn meter on a 4-turn cooldown, then places a shield buff on all revived allies for 2 turns, equal to 20% of this champion's max HP. Also places a block debuff buff on all allies for 2 turns. So it's essentially like Ugo's Revive, but just better, right? It's 50% HP instead of, I think, 20% for Ugo. You get the 50% turn meter as well, which Ugo doesn't give. And then you get the shield as well and the block debuff. So this guy is really, really good. You have his passive as well. Has a booked up 100% chance of decreasing an ally skill by 1 turn whenever they are revived. Once per turn, if an ally is killed, reduces the cooldown of all the champion skills by 1 turn. Very, very, very good character. I would recommend going for him. We also have Emic here. Emic's pretty good. We got some shields on the A1, which is good. You're also increasing the value of a shield. We've got a lot of shields here, which is really, really good. Taunt, shield, unkillable buff on all allies. And then the shield here on the A2 is on all allies as well. It's an AoE hitter on a 3-turn cooldown. If you don't have... it also decreases the cooldowns of all ally skills except the champions by 1 turn, which is really solid. If you don't have a good shielder to go with Titus, you don't have like a Wixwell, you don't have a Freya, Emic is very good to go with Titus, right? He's a very, very good character to go with him. So that is definitely a good option, especially if you have lasting gifts on him and he can put that shield out there on the A2 for 3 turns instead of 2 turns. That's great on a 3-turn cooldown. Very, very solid. So Entanglement, when attacked while under a shield buff, has a 50% chance of increasing the cooldown of a random skill on the attacker by 2 turns. Occurs once per attack. Whenever the ally HP drops below 20%, increases the damage dealt by that ally by 20%. Very, very solid. Does a lot more damage. That's really, really nice. So I really do like Emic. I do think Bellatar is going to be better though, so I would recommend pulling for him instead. So we're going to do Bellatar and Yuzin for the Void Shards, and that's it. That's going to be my recommendations if you guys are pulling. Obviously, with the same thing for Primals. Don't do that. With the same thing for Sacreds here. So I would recommend only going for the 4 here. Let me know what your guys' plan is, because I am curious. And also, don't forget to click that download link down below to get started off in Raid Challenge the best way possible. 3 insane epics, 3 really, really insane legendaries. Only one way to start. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Until next time, this has been Duelim. Later, Raiders.